Mr. Conley?
I've seen it, some water utilities in some towns that have the utilities are going into a different levels. So for the Cody families of the world that are just using the water are paying a lower rate. For those that opt to do extensive watering of lawns and are paying a higher rate. Do we know of how many of those how many are out there, and do we want to look at that?
When you say a higher rate,
We have,
The consumption rate.
yes.
It would have to be
Where's mine?
based on consumption if you
Well,
consume a
well,
certain
no,
amount.
I'm just saying that after you hit, you pay a
surcharge.
you pay a higher rate for gallonage after a certain mark. If you're a typical user, you're paying a lower rate because you're conserving water, you're doing a good thing for the environment. You make some choices to use water more than the average person, should you pay more for that extra water.
So you want to stick the neighbors in my district?
Actually, I probably want to stick my employer, which is not but,
But our proposed rate schedule, as you use more cubic feet, you are paying a greater charge. From 0 to 1,000 cubic feet is a certain charge.
Okay, I'm sorry.
From 1,001 to 3,000, it's a higher charge. From 3,001 and up
Yeah.
is a higher charge. So there is an increment. As you use more water, you pay more.
Okay.
Besides the volume, you also pay a higher price,
Right.
higher base price.
But you could you could say over a certain
Well, this says
usage, you add-
3,001 cubic feet or higher, so it could be
It's
indefinite.
on
we could-
page 5 of the handout. There's a list of,
Okay, got here late, so I'm a little mixed up in my hand. Thank you.
What's interesting with the COLA.
Never mind.
Adjustment. What's interesting, the COLA adjustment is there's a certain expectation, I know it's going to be coming. Talking to Mount Arlington last night, they have, part of their area is served by United Water, and what was just put upon them was a 50% increase. They absolutely doubled their rates, and there's no control. This way you have a sort of control and expectation because it's our utility, which is nice.
So that would be written into the ordinance, Mayor? I'll have Joe write that into the ordinance.
I would think, but I don't
Right.
know what the rest
Ray?
of the council-
Do we need a motion for all of this?
hang on,
Please.
Dr. Esposito, you
No,
have
just-
another
this is
question?
just another further question. Can this COLA be extrapolated to the electrical rates as well? Or is that something different?
Electrical is not, water's under our control.
Right.
We're just
We're
pumping
the
it out.
purchase
We're not
contract
paying for
on
the
electric.
water.
Okay.
Electric is out of our control.
Right.
At this hour, I was going to make a comment about the fact I always thought that water is cheaper than cola, but
And Doc, COLA adjustment would never absorbed the rate increase or to acquire the additional power. So that's something we're gonna have to let stand alone and analyze as we enter new contracts prospectively.
Right, we don't buy water because we have our own wells, so we own the water supply. We buy the electricity, we don't generate it. I think that's Bob's point. So we can't control the electric other than through a contract process.
Turn off the lights.
Mr. Dunham?
Yeah, since we're discussing a proposed 25% increase in the water rate, perhaps, and I may have just derailed you with my first question, Robert, but perhaps you could just review the reasons why you think we need that kind of an increase this year in the water rate.
Well, once again, we didn't increase rates for 18 years. We didn't transfer any dollars from the water utility to the municipal utility, to the municipal budget. We're transferring a huge amount. When we're generating nothing, we're transferring $300,000 out. So
For what period of time have we been generating $300,000 from the water?
$300,000
to the operating
in
budget?
2008. It was $270,000 in 2007, $240,000, I believe, in 2006.
So it sounds like as time has gone on, we're carrying over increasing amounts to try to make up a shortfall in the operating budget. It's,
In
right?
the municipal budget.
In the municipal budget?
Yes.
Okay.
And at the same time, we weren't generating that revenue. I think that was we weren't generating that revenue. We were using the prior accumulated surplus. We weren't building new, we were operating the water utility in a deficit. We were subsidizing the water utility, in effect, by depleting it, and we've been depleting the resources. And at the same time, making huge expenditures in replacing water main replacements. So there's a huge disconnect. The fee revenue should support the transfer of the surplus to stabilize taxes and to support the capital improvements to repair and maintain the system, and we weren't doing that, and we haven't been doing that. And we need to
to be
do that.
fair, it is another form of tax. I mean, this is a tax we're talking
Well,
about.
it's
just-
based
more
on
of a-
use, so people get to control, but
It's more of a
it's a
directed
charge for a
tax.
service. It allows us, and it's not directed at anyone here, to, again, assess a charge against those property owners who don't participate on the property tax side and use a product. You now pay for the product you use, so it's a way that we get, our largest water user is probably Drew University. It gets them to the table to say, oh, you're now paying a fair cost for the product that you're using, instead of the taxpayers, in effect, subsidizing your use of our water system. They pay for their product.
So
And-
the theme there is people, the residents are hearing 25%, but the dollar figure to them is minimal compared to what we are pulling from the Drew Universities, the other corporations that are using water in town.
No, I understand all that, but just in terms of transparency, so people understand why it's being requested. And then I guess my last question would be, why not 15% as opposed to 25? What damage does that do this coming year?
15% on,
And I'm just picking out a number.
yeah, right.
Something other than 25.
Well, that's 240,000. That would generate $240,000. And once again, that would say that we're not generating any surplus. We're transferring more than we're generating,
The 25 gives you how much?
400,000 on 1.6 million.
Robert, I think it would really help us out if you can update the chart that you gave us on January 27th, the estimated water utility surplus balance, this sheet.
Yes.
If you can update this chart
Yeah.
to reflect the 25% increase, I think we can all look at the numbers and then have more meaningful discussion, so we know where the money, what your plans are in the
Yeah, I'm
next
just
few
looking for,
years.
I think we need I think we need the increase. I think what you did, Ray, is, in terms of an example, was good, because it shows how little it really is. But I just think we need to be transparent and have the figures so the public knows what's going on.
Well, to that point, Ray, why don't you do is there a way for you to do the same examples using?
Take Drew or Wyeth or a major commercial user? No.
In the first instance, for the benefit of the taxpayers, indicate what the water bill would be for your hypothetical single-family home and the small apartment.
In the other towns?
Using the New Jersey
yeah.
American Water. So people will understand that we are still providing
Oh, it's,
a benefit to them, even post increase.
yes, we can do that.
Okay, are there any further discussion? So is there a motion to draft an ordinance and have it ready to be introduced at our first March meeting?
Yes, yes.
That's full motion.
So moved.
I'll move it. Second. Third.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
Mrs. Okamoto?
Yes.
Dr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
So Robert, you will work on the
Yes.
ordinance and
Yes.
and propose that to the mayor, and we'll get it into the first March meeting agenda. At this time, is there anyone who wish to speak from the public? No one wants to talk today. Oh, okay. Mr. Dunham?
I move that we adjourn this August meeting.
Second?
Started in February and lasted till August?
August, yeah, jeez.
I'm good at it, I have to run.
Nice to have you back in the budget. Nice to have you back in the budget.